just to go straight to the meat of it. Expectations for the tournament, is it championship or bust?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, respect for everybody, fear nobody, kind of old football mentality. But yeah, definitely last time in 2023, walking away after the whole Trout-Ohtani thing, 3-2. It's something I've thought about for a long time and took into account when putting the roster together. So yeah, I think the expectation is to win the whole thing.
You're now back at the World Baseball Classic for the second time. Can you reflect on the growth of the game globally since the last one, and where you think the next few years will take the game internationally?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, from the United States perspective, I give a ton of credit to Latin American countries, their passion, their fans, kind of the mystery of Japan, the way they've been able to come into this tournament and perform so well. I think it's kind of forced the hand to get guys like this in the room, to be honest with you. I think there's a fear of missing out on the United States side. And my talks in recruiting the players were a heck of a lot different this time around than in 2023. Yeah, I just feel like there's been a tidal wave of emotion kind of wanting to win this thing. And I think guys like Logan, guys like Paul Skeens, from a pitching perspective, were very adamant about wanting to be here. So, yeah, I kind of lean into that, the whole Trout-Ohtani experience. And then the World Series this year, going 7 games with Toronto and L.A., I think baseball's at just on top right now.
Mark, last time around in 2023, you talked about your team players need to experience the game the same way that some of the Latin American players did, and we really saw that in that match against Venezuela. After that home run, the players like jumping over the fence. Is this something you've repeated to this set of players this time around as well?
Yeah, no doubt. I think, and Logan could probably speak to this as well. For a 162 season, I don't think you can lean in like that and be so passionate. I just think you'd run out of gas mid-season. But for a 7-game blast, you can let it eat. You really can. I mean, just coming over on the bus today, Roman Anthony's the young guy on the team. He obviously was forced to go buy a gigantic speaker, and they had Toby Keith blasting. And you could just tell there's just a different vibe amongst these guys than what I was a part of in 2023.
Logan, what Toby Keith song was it?
Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
I figured. And was that always Roman's job to acquire the speaker?
I think so. I think Harp was on that, making the young guy do it, and he's excited about it too.
Any questions, Bob? Get you the microphone.
Yeah, look, with everybody watching the bullpen sessions, how cool is that for you to have guys, the All-Star Cy Young guys watching you and giving some input?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think the best part of it for me was right after when Scoob was throwing. It's probably, I know you said it earlier, but it's probably the best bullpen I've ever seen in my entire life. So that was fun. That was fun to watch. But yeah, it was D-Rose right behind me while I'm throwing. I got Andy Pettit watching me throw a bullpen. Something you kind of dream of.
Other questions for Logan or Mark? We'll go to the third row in the middle.
This is for either of y'all, but you mentioned Bryce kind of having Roman Anthony go get the speaker. Who are some of the more boisterous or leadership kind of guys keeping the energy on this team for Team USA?
I mean, when I started the process of putting the team together, I mean, you want a position player pillar and you want a pitching pillar, right? And guys want to be around greats and get 1% better. That's what I've noticed. In 23, guys wanted to be around Trout. And then I felt like if we could get Judge on board, which he was all in from last March, and then Skeens on board, I felt like guys like Logan and guys like Scoobs and guys like, on down the line, Nolan McLean's going to get here hopefully today, would want to be around that. As far as who's the most boisterous, I wanted to create a room of different personalities, like put the best team together chemistry-wise, character-wise, have no deficiencies, no weaknesses. So I would say, as we were pulling away last night from the plane, I did see Schwarber have the mic.
Yeah, I would say Schwarber is probably that guy.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's just the way he is. Yeah, the last 2 days have been a blast. And we've scored 14 and 15. Just being in the dugout, watching those guys, the energy that they have, and it's all of them. It's not just him. It's a team effort, and watching these guys all just run around like kids and have fun has been a real pleasure to watch.
The 2 last ones in the second row on your left. We'll get the microphone to you.
Hey, Logan. It's a World Cup year, right, in soccer, and this is the World Cup of baseball. Just how different is it to be wearing this uniform to compare when you play for your team in the majors, and now you're together with an all-star team, right? You're playing with the best, the guys that you're usually facing.
I would just say it's an honor to represent the country, my country. It feels different. It's exciting. The first time I put it on, it was like, all right, let's do this thing, and it's been like that ever since. It was 4 days ago. I don't know, 3 days ago. It's kind of feels like a dream. Just excited to share the clubhouse with these guys and go win 7 games.
This has been like a 3-4 year recruitment of him. I tried to get him in 23. We were on the phone at length, and then San Francisco jumped in and gave him a huge extension, so he kind of backed out. So I've been slow playing getting him on this roster for a while.
Yeah, just watching the last one, even though I wasn't part of it, I felt like I was, these guys are representing all the United States players around baseball, and left a sour taste in your mouth. You want to be a part of it the next one and bring it home.
Up front to your right, guys.
How much juice was added by what the hockey team just did for you guys? And, a lot of pros that are kind of in a similar situation y'all are.
Yeah, it definitely was running on the group chat. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Everything that they accomplished. It's crazy. You can't put it into words. I wasn't a guy who played in a bunch of all-star games. Logan has been that guy. There's just a different vibe when you get in a room and USA goes across your chest. I'm sure the other countries feel the same way about playing for their countrymen. I go back to calling Paul Skeens, and I had this whole elaborate pitch laid out that I was going to give him to try and woo him to the team, and he's like, D-Ro, save it. He's like, I'm doing this for every serviceman and woman that protects our freedom. And I'm like, God, all right, I need to start thinking like that, Like, he changed my mindset on the whole thing, but there's something very powerful about it.
Finish up quickly on our left here.
My apologies if it's been answered on any other outlet, or just to get it to our viewership over in Mexico, and probably for the rest of the pool play. You know who's pitching that game against Mexico?
Yeah, it's Skeens. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Mark and Logan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Aaron, the first time that we met was in the Tower of London in 2019. And we were there for the MLB reception before the London series, as you will no doubt recall. And I spoke to you in the shadow of this 11th century castle. And you had just learned a bit of history about the building, which I don't know if you'll remember, but you had just learned some of the features of the building, including that just above you were the oldest toilets in London. And we had a great laugh about what a silly thing this is. But more seriously, on that note, 7 years later on, the game has grown globally significantly. Events like this mean so much more. Can you talk about what it means to help grow the game internationally and the changes that you've seen in this time since you first came over?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's been the coolest part all of us have kind of been talking about is just you're seeing the best of the best get a chance to represent for their country. And I think the coolest thing is when we had that London series, I know Kyle has played in it as well. It's just you're going over to a new country, probably not as familiar with baseball as they are in the U.S., and just seeing people wear your jersey. You see little kids running around. They want your autograph. They got a bat in their hand, a ball in their hand. That means the world. That's what it's all about, is growing this game that we love and, trying to spread it to maybe some countries that don't get a chance to see us as much. So it's it's gonna be a fun event, especially coming off the Olympics, which was such a ride and such a rush, and now getting kind of snowballing this. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and can't wait to see how this works out.
Go to the second row in the middle, guys.
I guess this is actually for any one of you, but I'll start with Aaron. Is it weird to be a home team in this ballpark where you've had some painful, I guess, playoff memories? And how do you enjoy hitting in Dyken Park?
Love hitting here. It's a great park to hit, especially those little Crawford boxes in left. That's always nice, and the short wall in right. No, it's a great place to play. Yeah, like you said, I had some tough memories here, had some good memories here, and it's part of it. But now, getting a chance to wear the red, white, and blue, we're going to have a lot of great memories in here, I think.
Kyle, Cal, anything you guys want to add on that? Houston, no? Other questions? We'll go to Bob on your right.
Since you guys have been hanging around together, have you guys even jokingly with the Scooble try to recruit him, saying, "Hey, New York's a great place, Seattle's a great place, Philly's a great place"? Try to recruit him as a free agent.
No, this isn't about our organizational baseball right now. This is about the 3 letters across our chest, and we're looking forward to the journey ahead. 7 wins, that's our goal right here. It's one at a time, and anytime that you get him or any of our other starters on the mound, it's going to be a really good day for us.
Second row on your left, guys.
On that note, Kyle, you talk about not being about organizational baseball, but rather about your country. Just can you go into the pride that goes into this when you're competing against, the world?
Absolutely. I think the best part about our game is that there's so many different cultures in our game, and we obviously all play organizationally, but this is about everyone having the pride for their country and trying to represent them the best that you can to your own ability. And it's never taken lightly. This is my 3rd opportunity to get the Wear USA across my chest, and every time it means something just as special as the last time. So you never take it for granted. Obviously, we have a great group of individuals in the room, and you get the take notes, mental notes, see how everyone's preparing, and knowing that whenever we step out in that field tomorrow, that we're going to get everyone's best shot, every country's best shot against us, and that we're all going to be prepared to give them our best shot as well.
A few rows back on your left, we'll go to Chandler.
Kyle, DeRosa and Logan said that you had the mic when you guys were, I guess, on the bus going to the airport. What were you saying or singing?
I do not sing, but it was just more about getting the boys together. It's just something that since I came up into the big leagues, that it brings that kind of camaraderie together, right? We get laughs, jokes, but at the end of the day, it's about we got a lot of people in the room that haven't got to play with each other. And first off, we're doing a fantastic job of just creating our culture that we want to have for our time together. And it was just something you just want to continue to do, the bring everyone closer. And I feel like we got a really good presence set by, obviously, Judgy over here, DeRosa, everyone in the room. And we're excited to step on that field tomorrow.
First row on your right, guys.
Aaron, being the captain, was there any strenuous recruiting needed to be able to get guys to do this, or was it pretty much you had guys coming to you being like, "Hey, put in a good word with D-Row for me"?
Yeah, for the most part, there's a lot of guys just, asking me during stretch or stuff like that, like, "Hey, I want to be a part of this. Any way you can squeeze me on this team, because it's going to be something special." So I really didn't do too much recruiting. I think the coolest part was just guys, a lot of our best players early on saying, "Hey, I'm in." I think that kind of helps with the recruiting process. It's like, hey, if you're, you look at these guys up here, man, they were right away wanting to join and wanting to be a part of this, and it makes it easy when I get to hit with these guys in the lineup. It's like, how could you not want to be a part of that? So, D-Row did a great job assembling the team that he did. Just a lot of hardworking, just great guys. So it's been an incredible couple of days, and looking forward to some more great memories with them.
Other questions? Go to the second row in the middle here. Get second row right here. Yeah.
in any of your guys' time here as a visiting player, is there anything you enjoy about Houston or anything you're looking forward to with about 8-9 days here in Houston?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take one. No, I think all these guys here can kind of say, come in here. It's always a tough place to play. You know, it's a great environment. So it is a little weird walking in the home locker room. So a little different pace, but I think we're all excited. I think I think we're all antsy. We're all ready to get going. We want to play a game. So we're excited. We're excited to be here, and I think we've enjoyed our time here so far.
And with you two guys as lefties, is there any pros and cons to hitting that dike in, or is it pretty neutral in that respect?
No, I don't think it changes your approach. I mean, like Aaron said, it's a good place to hit. Down the line's pretty short. So, but I don't think anything changes. You keep your same approach, and if you happen to pull it, you pull it. So,
Two last ones up front on your right.
All right, Cal, I'll give you another one. I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to get booed with those colors on, but I'm sure you're aware on Astros Twitter, you became a meme for what you said after a game. Have you ever gotten anything like that whenever you come to town here?
It's a pretty, heated rivalry, like being in division with them. So, they don't like us. We don't like them. But I think wearing USA, I think it'll, for a little bit of time, they'll cheer for us. So, but yeah, it's that's how baseball is, though. You want those kind of things happening. You want to have those kind of rivalries and those tough games, and it's usually what you get here. But like I said, I think they'll put that aside for country pride. So
One last one for these guys, and we'll finish up in the fourth row on your right, guys.
Dero talked about having the passion that like some of the Latin American teams have. Who do you think is going to be the first one jumping over the fence when there's a big home run?
It's going to be all of us, I'll tell you that. We're all going to be excited. This isn't about showing anyone up. This is about us pumping each other up and showing that we're going to keep that energy going as much as we can. Big punch out, whatever it is, big home run. We're all going to be out there. This is how you keep momentum going. You want the excitement, you want the edge, and this is about, obviously there's going to be great environment, but you also got to create your own energy, and we're going to be very energetic in our dugout.
And we'll finish up in the second row on the left here.
Aaron, you talked about, lining up and hitting along these guys. Obviously, it's a team that you could say it's an all-star team the way it's built, right? Is there maybe a weakness is the wrong word to use, but is there an area where you say, okay, this is maybe where we need to focus a little bit more on as far as not being having an advantage?
No, I like our lineup up and down, and the guys we have on the bench. It's just incredible. You have a guy like, with the outfield, you have a guy like Roman Anthony coming off the bench for you. You have a guy like Ernie Clement, postseason leader in hits. What he did this last postseason is just, you can kind of plug him in anywhere. It's going to be incredible. And I think what's going to help us out a lot, I think one of our strengths is, if I don't get the job done, I know I got Schwarber and Cal right behind me to finish it up, and, so on and so on. So I think just us feeding off each other, trusting each other, not trying to just be the one guy that goes up there and does the job. It's like, hey, let's lean into each other, and as a team, we're gonna take care of business.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck.